Basis is trying to wedge a school into some residential lots in the middle of I say middle, it's partially into a neighborhood that is very rural, very narrow streets. They're going to create a lot of traffic. We've always had difficulty with people cutting through the neighborhood. What with Antonian at the other end of the neighborhood, a lot of people that go to Antonian already cut down this street. I got a peek at the traffic study they did, and they showed zero traffic going all the way down the street and cutting down Fox Hall. And everyone that lives there knows that's not going to be true. Plus, when they're taking that kind of shortcut, they don't tend to even go the speed limit. We've lived with it. My wife and I and my family have been there for over 10 years, and they're narrow streets. People walk on them. There's no sidewalks, so it's very dangerous when people come around curbs, even doing 30 miles an hour when the speed limit's 20 and 25, and safe is probably 20. So when you add thousands of cars coming in and out of our neighborhood where it was never intended to be, and the streets are not designed for that, you're going to create a hazard, a dangerous hazard for the families that live there. And it doesn't make any sense. The intention purely seems to be it's a more affordable piece of property for the school. And, frankly, we don't think that outweighs safety, saving a little bit of money for a company.
Where does the city fall in all this?
They seem to be flanked by a law that was passed that allows the schools to circumvent some zoning rules. They still have to approve permits on traffic flow, etc. We haven't yet seen what they're capable of doing to stop that. We're in uncharted territory there. Hopefully our reps will step up and hold the line on this, because in general it's just a bad idea for the neighborhood. It's not lack of sympathy for education or for the school or Basis at all. We know people that have children there, and we support them. We just don't support them in the middle of a neighborhood that's not designed for that kind of traffic. I do also understand that the school will not have a cafeteria, and so that the high school students and the teachers are able to leave for lunch. And I'm not sure that is even in the traffic study. It may be. I haven't studied it that closely, but I'm wondering if that was even included. So we're not just talking, mornings and evenings for additional traffic. And further, my in-laws, they showed about 10% of the street coming down their West Castle Lane. 10% of that school's traffic is a complete change in the atmosphere of their street right now. 10% sounds like a small number until you see the multiplication of the number of cars that are going to be going down that road.
What's it going to do to the infrastructure?
It's going to change the neighborhood. We have Antonian at one end, we have St. George at the end of West Castle, and now we're going to have Basis at the end of South Winston. We're going to have 3 schools at the end of one of the most rural areas in town that's known for its deer and squirrels and hawks and owls and foxes, and we're just going to pile on with the traffic. It makes no sense. There's only one benefit to it, and it's to the school getting cheap property in a location that's acceptable to them. And that's just not a good enough reason.
Why Castle Hills? Why not go half a mile away and go into the city of San Antonio?
All I can say is this has got to be the least expensive solution that they could find, and they think they can get away with it.
What do you want to see happen?
I'd like to see, ultimately, I'd like to see something that fits the neighborhood go in there. I'm not against development. We're all pro things that grow the neighborhood. We're not anti-everything. Like it's easy to paint people that are saying no at the time, but we're saying no because it's a terrible idea. I'd like to see something that preserves the trees, preserves the traffic, and preserves the drainage, and something that covering 4 acres with asphalt and building, where there's not even grassy areas on the property for anybody to utilize, is a gross misuse of this type of property in this type of neighborhood.
Where does the church play into this? Do you have any background on it?
I understand the church is still for sale. It's puzzling to us why they couldn't figure out a way to make the church property work for them. It's already there. We're already dealing with that. Its existence is, I can only imagine it's money. It's just cheaper to go this route. It looks like they're cooperating and sharing some parking lot with the new development, because it doesn't fit on the land they're putting it on. And I don't think they've been a very good neighbor, frankly. To skirt the laws just so you can get away with something is not what how I envisioned a church acting.
Just to sum it up, how's it going to directly impact you?
It won't be the same street or the same neighborhood. It'll be sad that it was allowed to happen if it happens, and I'll be pretty frustrated with anyone that allowed it. There's places where it would fit in fine, that with 4-lane roads that won't be nearly as disturbed as this would. It really is ridiculous that this is even happening. It's not going to be the same neighborhood at all.